Hi everyone. As promised, I am back with our nonfiction butterfly book. Nonfiction just means that there is factual or real information in this story and that it is not any make-believe. So this story is called Caterpillars and Butterflies, and it's published by Scholastic, and it's written by Stephanie Turnbull. So while you're listening to this story, I'd like for you to think about the differences between this and the last story that we read together. And again, think about our butterflies and the life cycle that they have gone through and what we have seen on our own observations. So caterpillars and butterflies. Amazing insects. Butterflies are flying insects with beautiful wings. They begin life as caterpillars. This is a peacock butterfly. The spots on its wings look like the marks on a peacock's tail. Tiny eggs. Butterflies lay eggs on leaves and twigs. The eggs are sticky so they don't fall off. Some butterflies lay more than 1,000 eggs in just a few weeks. That's why it's so important for us to get these butterflies outside as soon as we can, or as soon as they're ready, so that they don't start to lay eggs inside the butterfly home, because then we would have hundreds, if not thousands, of butterfly eggs and possibly caterpillars emerging. We don't want that. Many eggs have a thick, rough covering. A caterpillar is growing inside each egg. They will be ready to hatch in a few days. Butterfly eggs come in different shapes. Some eggs look like round pearls, other eggs are long and thin, and a few hang like beads on a string. So I'll just show you that page real close. Hopefully you can see it. Hatching out. A caterpillar bites a hole in its egg and wiggles out. This cabbage white caterpillar is hatching. You can see other tiny caterpillars still inside their eggs. First, a caterpillar eats its egg. This gives it energy. It is still hungry, so it eats the leaf the egg was on. Then it moves on to eat more leaves from the same plant. Caterpillars have strong jaws. They can munch through a leaf in seconds. So just like our story, the very hungry caterpillar that we read, these caterpillars in real life are really hungry and they eat a lot. Lots of legs. All caterpillars have 16 legs. This is an emperor gum moth caterpillar. The front 6 legs are stiff and pointed for grabbing food. The other legs are fatter. They have suckers for clinging onto stalks and twigs. Some caterpillars move along in big loops. The front part of the body stretches out, then the back part lifts up and moves up to meet the front. Stay away. Birds and insects like to eat caterpillars. Many caterpillars have patterns on their body to help them hide. This geometrid moth caterpillar looks just like a twig. Some caterpillars make a horrible smell that keeps other animals away. Many caterpillars try to look scary to frighten enemies. A pus moth caterpillars rear up to look big and fierce, and that is kind of a scary looking caterpillar, isn't it? Sweet oil caterpillars eat poisonous plants, and this makes them taste bad to birds. So these are all some natural defenses that they have to protect themselves from predators. Big eaters. Caterpillars eat all the time. They find a plant they like and eat until it's all gone. These caterpillars are called large whites. They only like to eat cabbage leaves. Caterpillars soon grow so fat that their skin is too tight and starts to split. They wiggle out of the old skin. Underneath is a new stretchy skin. This swallowtail caterpillar has a brand new skin and it leaves the old one behind. So again, we saw that in our caterpillar cup, that black stuff that was in the bottom of the cup, that was actually their skin or their exoskeleton that they were shedding or molting off. Most caterpillars change their skin 4 times. Each time the patterns are more interesting. Time to change. Soon, caterpillars are ready to turn into butterflies. First, A caterpillar finds a safe, sheltered place. Next, second, it hangs upside down using hooks on its body. And we saw that happen with 2 of our caterpillars. 3, its skin splits and falls off. Underneath is a new skin. And 4, the skin gets harder and harder until it's like a case. The hard case is called a pupa, and the pupa hangs without moving for weeks. Inside, a butterfly is growing. Some caterpillars hide inside a rolled up leaf before they turn into a pupa. So out of our 4 butterflies right now, 1 of them has emerged and the other 3 are still in their chrysalis or their pupa stage. A new body. When butterflies are fully grown, they are ready to break out of their pupa. You can see this butterfly's wings inside its pupa. A butterfly slowly pushes itself out of the pupa. Then it stops to rest. Its wings are pale, damp, and crumpled. Butterflies have to let their wings dry out before they can fly. This monarch butterfly must wait a few hours for its wings to spread and get stiffer. And then just a fun fact here, butterflies don't grow after they've hatched. They stay the same size all of their lives. And this is the stage that we watched our butterfly go through this morning, and we will eventually be watching the others go through this as well. So we watched him hanging from the top of our butterfly home, and eventually he emerged, and he was shaking his wings to dry, which was pretty cool that we got to see that. Up and away. Butterflies are always moving around. They never stay still for long. All butterflies have 4 big, wide wings. They flap all 4 wings together. The wings are covered in tiny scales. You can see them under a microscope. So if you take a look real close here, that's what their scales look like under a microscope. Some butterflies flap their wings 70 times every second. That's a lot. So let's talk about the difference between a butterfly and a moth. So what is a moth? A moth looks a lot like a butterfly, but it's not quite the same. This empire moth has smaller, narrower wings, than a butterfly. Hawk moths can fly much faster than you can run. Most moths fly at night when there are not so many enemies around. This is called a Madagascan moon moth. Moths have fat, furry bodies to keep them warm on cold nights. They have feathery feelers that sense objects in the dark. Feeding. Butterflies and moths feed on juices from flowers or fruit. Instead of a mouth, they have a long, thin tube called a proboscis. They drink through it like a straw. This is an Asian vampire moth. It can prick an animal's skin and drink its blood. It's kind of an interesting fact. The proboscis is usually curled up. It uncurls when the butterfly drinks. When butterflies are thirsty, they often suck up drops of water from the damp ground. And right now, our butterfly has some orange slices in there so that he can suck up the fruit from the juice from the fruit. And that'll help give him energy. Vanishing act. Lots of animals like to eat butterflies. Some butterflies have patterns that help them hide. This is called a leaf butterfly. It keeps still. Enemies think that it's just a leaf. Glasswing butterflies have see-through wings, which makes them hard to spot or hard to find. This hair streak butterfly is easy to see as it flies. Its wings are green underneath, so it can hide when it lands. And then this butterfly down here is an orange-tipped butterfly. It looks like the flowers that it feeds on. So these are all some defense mechanisms. Showing off. Some butterflies are poisonous, so they don't need to hide from enemies. Bright markings on the swallowtail butterfly warn animals that it tastes bad. Some butterflies have big spots like eyes on their wings to make them look scary. These butterflies both look poisonous to animals, but the one on the left is harmless. It copies the poisonous butterfly's patterns. This moth has a fat body and small wings. Enemies think it's a bee, and they leave it alone. big and small. Butterflies and moths come in all shapes and sizes. Atlas moths are the biggest moths in the world. Each of their wings is wider than a page of this book. So that's a really big, so one page of this book, that's a really big wing, a really big butterfly or moth. The smallest butterfly is called a pygmy blue. And if you look down here, that's its real size. So it's teeny tiny. This is a zebra swallowtail butterfly. Many swallowtails have long wings that make them look bigger. This helps protect them from enemies. Birds often snap at the butterfly's dangling tails instead of at its body. The butterfly has a chance to escape. Losing a bit of its wing doesn't hurt. And these are just a glossary of some words that you'll see in some nonfiction books, and that's the end of our story. So I hope you enjoyed caterpillars and butterflies, and I'd like you to just think about the differences between this story and the last story that we read, and think about our butterflies and the life cycle that they have gone through so far. So that's it for today, and I'll see everybody next time. Bye.